We've just finished up Hebrews chapter 11, full of its challenges and encouragement, full of the examples of those that we can follow. And then we have been given, and we looked a couple days ago at a first pass on this idea that we need to throw aside every sin and run, and not quit. We're to focus on Jesus and what Jesus did. He never lost sight of where he was headed. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, all those people, the Hall of Fame of faith, let us throw off everything that hinders us and the sin which so easily entangles us, and let us run with perseverance the race that is marked out for us. So the truth is, most of the things that will slow us down are not bad things. The truth is, most of the things that will hold you back from growing more like Christ are not bad things. They're good things. They're innocent things. They're allowable things, but they're just not the right things. So the message of Hebrews chapter 12 is that if we want to win the race, we're going to have to do the things that we're told to do. We're going to have to run in order to win. We're not to stroll, we're not to meander, but to run, to endure, to persevere, to be alert. And at some point, part of what this means is that we should stop asking the question, is there anything wrong with this? And we need to start asking the question, what are the right things for me to be focused on? The text doesn't say don't sin, it says lay aside every encumbrance. Do everything you can to free yourself up to win. At some point, there has to be that shift. So if you go to a race, go to a track meet, go to a race, you'll see that the spectators, one of my boys was in cross country and track, and when I would show up to watch the race, right, I showed up in warm clothes and maybe with something to eat, or since he ran the mile at the beginning, or the 2 mile at the beginning of the meet and the mile at the end of the meet, maybe with some work to do in the time in between. If you're a participant, those things are okay. But if you're actually the racer, then you don't want the warm clothes that are going to slow you down. You certainly don't want the food that is going to carry. You don't want work that you're going to have to be messing with. You want to be unencumbered. And so you got to start to ask yourself, what does it look like to win? Not what are the things that are maybe slowing me down, but what are the things I need to do in order to run as fast as I could? So now, I may surprise you with what I'm going to say next, but there's a famous essay. If you've not read it, it's worth Googling it. C.S. Lewis, no surprise there, I guess. C.S. Lewis, it's called Lessons in a Time of War. So Lewis had fought in World War I, almost died in World War I, as a matter of fact. But he had been left on the battlefield thinking that he was going to die, and many of his friends died. He didn't die, obviously, but he's a professor now as England is gearing up to go into World War II. And he was asked by one of the chaplains at one of the colleges, I think Magdalen College, to speak to the students who are now trying to figure out, okay, we've got Hitler on a terror. Western civilization seems to be on the brink of collapsing. Can I stay in school and study? Like, should I be studying whatever, history or philosophy or accounting, whatever? Should I be studying these things, or should I go fight in the war? And Lewis said, well, look, the way you need to frame this question, I mean, it's the right question to ask, but the way you need to frame this question is not now we're at war and before we weren't. We're always at war. We are in a spiritual battle. And if this topic was a good topic for you to study before the war between the Axis and the Allied forces was emerging, then it may still be a good thing for you to be doing right now. But we need to understand we're always at war. And part of the reason I like this is because I don't want you to think that it's only spiritual things that matter. That's not true. Everything everywhere matters to God. Jesus doesn't simply claim to be Lord of the church. He claims to be Lord of the classroom and Lord of the courtroom and Lord of the boardroom. Everything in our life needs to be submitted to Jesus Christ. And we need to be looking at our life and asking the question, like, what is it that I'm called to do, and how do I get rid of the things that are going to slow me down so that I can run with endurance this race that has been set before me. I hope you have a good day.